Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be making R2-D2 look like this. So I started off with making R2-D2 from the head, and basically I made like these little squares, blue squares, right? They're like these blue squares. But before that, I actually started making with this circle on the top, and I positioned it so it was like properly in the center, and it actually took a little while to position it. So when I was like done positioning it, I tried to like what do you call it? Make like these little squares or trapezoids on the top of his head, but the thing is, when I did that, it didn't work out that well, so I couldn't really do it. But I tried my best, and it was actually okay. But I ended up deleting it after. So once I was done that, I actually I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I started off with these other blue squares on the bottom or underneath that part that I just did, right? So as you can see, I did like a circle here, and then I made these blue squares on his head. So there are like three ones that are like the same size, and they're a little shorter. And then there's a longer one on the other end. So I made that, and once I was done with that, I actually made a little bit more. I made one detail. Like there was this one lens thing, and when for that I actually got three cylinders, and then on the for the main black lens part, I made um I'm pretty sure it's a black. I made a black hemisphere for it, and it turned out quite well. So I just copied and pasted the cylinder multiple times, and then I resized it so it becomes a little smaller. And there are three cylinders, I'm pretty sure. So this is the second one that I'm making. And then there is another one that is even smaller than the second one. So I just had to position the whole thing properly before I could actually get it and put the little black lens part. So once I did that, I really couldn't put the black lens on because I had to pretty much like position it in a certain way, but it was really hard to position it. So I just selected the whole that metal lens part, and then I just put it on the side and made sure that it was facing up and down. So I made sure it was facing vertically. And once I did that, it was quite quite easy to put on that little the what do you call it? The half sphere. I'm just gonna call it a half sphere. It was easier, and then once I put it on, it was good. And then I had to resize it, and because it was a little too big, right? So after that, I basically just put it on, and then once I put it on, it was looking quite good. And then I started off with this like blue plate looking thing, and then there's like this gray circle. So, but before that, I positioned the lens thing. And then when I started off with the blue plate thing, I actually used a square or rectangle, and then I just put a circle inside the rectangle. So when I did that, it looked quite similar. And then after that, what I did, I actually started off with like a square, or yeah, square above that lens and the blue square, and that is like another thing so R2-D2 can like look around, and makes it easier for him so he can look around in multiple angles. So I just positioned the square, and once I did that, I got a hemisphere or half sphere, and it was a little too big, so I just resized it into the proper size. So once I did that, it looked quite good, and I started off with the next thing, and I'm pretty sure the next thing was some more details, but I couldn't do those details because that picture didn't let me get the I couldn't see the details on the back, right? So I got a 3D model of it, and then once I did that, I looked on the back and I saw that there were a bunch of these squares, even more squares. So I just made all of those squares, and once I did that, there was actually like another square that was longer than all of them, like way longer, and there was another square after that that was even longer. But before I did that, I just made all the other ones, and then I made the long one. So it actually looked like it was weird, so I actually tried to flip it, but then it just looked the same. But I was like, whatever, I'll just make the next square. And once I made the next square, it was looking a little better, and R2-D2 was coming along quite well. So basically, then I just moved on with the back lens. But before that, I even there was like this square. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there are even more squares, blue squares, and I just did that. And then there was this one that has no filling inside, so I did that. And then after that, there's like a little dash above it. And there's another square. So there are a lot of squares on R2-D2, and then put another square. But I thought that there was not enough space to put the lens, but I'm pretty sure I need to keep that square. But at that time I was like, I didn't know, so I deleted that by accident, and then I didn't remember to put it back. But before that, when I was in that, I made another lens, and but even before that, there was just like this little what do you call it? It's like a little cylinder that I had to make because there was like a gray square in the square. So I did that, and when I did that, I just had to position it properly. Once I positioned it, I'm like, oh, that square is there, so I erased it. But I was actually meant to keep that square, but then I forgot to add it back in. But there's like another lens, and for that lens, I just copied the lens on the front and put on the back. And because it was a little hard to move around and all that, I made the canvas transparent, or I just took out the canvas so I could like look around easily. And when I tried to stretch it stretched out in a weird way. So what I thought of was like maybe I could separate the black half sphere, and that didn't work out. So I just copied the cylinder 3 times, and I aligned it up. So then it looked like it was a little longer, but it was still not aligned. So I realigned it again, and boom, that's the lens done. And then I just copied that lens and pasted it on top. And there was like another lens, and I pasted that on top. So once I did that, it was looking quite good. And yeah, it was starting to look like R2-D2 now, and he actually turned out really well. So basically, next I start off with the details on his body. So first, I start off with like this I don't know, like blue marking, I guess. So I made the box that's gonna be in, and I had to reposition that line over and over again, so I could get it perfect. And I got it perfect, so I just created another box inside of that box, and on the top there's like a blue rectangle, so I put that, and then I start off with the main design. So I copied that, and I copied that little square on top, and then I used that, right? So then I just realized that the square had a gray outline, so I fixed that. And once I was done that, I basically made like these little other squares there on the design. So it looked a little weird, but once I add some triangles, which I'm doing right now, it looked better. And it was like way better than before, and I do stretch out the triangles in like different ways so I can get it proper and perfect. So once I was done that, I basically started off with a one on the bottom. So once I was done with the one on the bottom, I did it, and then it was looking quite good. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna move on to something else, right? And the something else was some more details on the side. So those details, they're like, they helped it look a lot better. So basically, once I did that, it was a lot better looking. So as you can see, there are like a bunch of squares I put, and there's like a blue square, and I don't know why, but the recording was messed up. So this audio recording is not really aligned. So I'm just skipping forward a little bit, and when I go forward, I made like these little details, like these squares, and they have like a bunch of like different types of like triangles in it and like circles in it and all of that, right? So once I did that, I moved on to the back, and he would be completed. But anyways, now we're just gonna move on to the music. So that's R2-D2 done. And if you can see, I actually added this right here. I like this part. I added this right here, and that was because I didn't show it in the recording because like the recording was actually getting to an hour long, and my PC couldn't handle it. So I had to stop it, and I actually added it after I stopped the recording. But I cannot believe how well he has turned out. I've actually built this before, and it's quite mind blowing to me. It's like, oh my god, how do you do it? Like, that's myself and talking to myself. I'm like, how do I do this? And it actually turned out really, really well. If you can see, this and my other model was like really, really good. If you tell me, it was really, really nice. So if I open my other model, it will be like, oh my god. So as you can see, these two are actually really similar, but there are just some differences, and it was a little different to what I made in the other ones. Like this part, it looks a little weird, but it's different. And I actually forgot to add these things because, as you can see, there's this right. There's this here, right? So I forgot to add that, but I might even add it after. And the two things they're like really similar. And for the other one, I actually didn't do the top because I couldn't find the shape, but I can see that I actually just colored the top in, so I could just do the top like that. And yeah. So I actually when I came back here, I actually added in the top, and this looks even better now. And I can't really believe how well this turned out. It's like, oh my god, I don't even know how I did this. And I'm actually just trying to make a little adjustment here right now. So, yeah. But I love how I added all these details. Like this, like over here. I was able to add this, right? The only thing I wasn't able to do was there's like a wire. Like there's meant to be a wire here, I'm pretty sure. As you can see, like this wire. I'm just not able to do that because the thing is, when I built the other one, I wasn't really sure how to make the wire, and I wasn't super really sure how to make the wire here either. So I just tried my best to not really add it on, add it in because it was too hard. But overall, I'm really surprised. Anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're notified when new videos of mine come out. Goodbye!